I believe Bitcoin is probably the least manipulatable outside of normal market forces asset in the world known to humanity. And I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about why I think that is the case. I just can't stand for doom and gloom fear mongering when it comes to the most prized asset humanity has ever seen, especially when most people don't understand how these things can happen. I feel like it's cool to say this shit. Right? It's cool to say, you know, oh, the ETF is coming. Oh, no, the ETF is coming. Oh, there's going to be naked short selling. Oh, it's going to be a paper IOU. Oh, it's going to... So I think it's, you know, I'm making a bit more of a joke about it, but there's so many people that talk about this doom and gloom fear bullshit. They're out there, and they don't understand what they're saying, and normal people are going to see this and go, oh my God, the Bitcoin ETF's coming. That means the price is going to go down. I'm not going to buy because I'm going to wait for the ETFs to come out because Luke and Willie and all these other people said that the price is going to get suppressed, and therefore I'm going to buy it when it's lower because that's going to be me. I'm going to be smart. And then they're going to miss out on buying the #1 asset humanity has ever created with true scarcity, true finality of scarcity. So that's why I feel responsible in doing this video. Because I want you to get to your 1 Bitcoin. I don't want you to listen to the doom and gloom fear bullshit. There's a bunch of bullshit. So let's break it down piece by piece, right? When people are talking about an ETF, let me just close this WhatsApp. When people are talking about an ETF, you got to understand how price manipulation actually happens. So a lot of the gold bugs like talking about price manipulation because it's not that they're just wrong about gold. It's not that the fact that, you know, Peter Spina and all these other guys love Peter Schiff, Kiyosaki, everyone. Oh, they suppressed the price of gold by selling, you know, futures contracts in the market. That's the futures market. That's nothing to do with the ETF. In fact, the ETF brings more capital into the market, which then makes it less likely that you can manipulate an asset. When an asset has more capital come into it, what it means is that there are less market inefficiencies, which means that you can take advantage of the asset less in the futures markets. Because if, for example, how you manipulate an asset is very, very simple. Let's say, you know, it's trading at $2,000, right? And you want it to go to $2,500, right? You go and put in a bunch of buy orders at $2,500. And people are basically going to buy the spot market and sell it into the futures market and try and fill that gap. It is a very, very, it's normal market forces. It is, if I can see a spread in the market, right? Let's say the futures market is showing me a profit potential of, I don't know, 10%, right? Let's say I can make $200 by buying it here and selling it there, buying on the spot, selling on the futures, or buying on the futures and selling on the spot. I'm going to take that spread opportunity and I'm going to make my little arbitrage on top of that. That's the extent to the price manipulation that happens. The point that a lot of people mistake is that they think what can happen is I can go into the market and sell an unlimited amount of short contracts, which basically means I'm selling more of the asset than is available in order to cover, in order to drive the price down, right? Because this is the wet dream of doom and gloom boomers. It's basically, oh, someone's going to come out and basically start shorting as hard as possible on this asset. And unfortunately, that's not how it works. Why? Because you actually need capital. More importantly, there's transparency in the Bitcoin markets. So if you can see, if Bitcoiners can see that there is a heavy short position against this asset, what are we going to do? We're going to find all the capital under the sun and go long. Most importantly, the people who are in positions of power, the hedge funds, etc., that are looking for opportunities like this, would see an inefficiency in the market for a short period of time and take advantage of it. If they see that there is a big buildup of short positions going on, the first thing they're going to do is start building up, and they want to take advantage of that. They want to go on the long side, right, and force the shorts to cover their positions, and therefore the price doesn't get manipulated for too long. It's fractions of the time that these people think it is. These people, you know, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like, I don't know whether it's not understanding. I don't think it's that, because they talk smart. I think it's more so just it's cool to be a doom and gloom boomer, right? And by the way, optimistic, aspirational, ambitious boomers, I love them. I learned everything I did from good boomers, right? But there's definitely a branch of doom and gloom boomers, and I don't resonate with them at all. So Bitcoin's price as an ETF comes out is going to be less manipulatable, because as more capital comes into the market, the price moves higher, there's more attention on the market, there's more people looking for opportunities. So if they see, someone might say, oh, 10% of an opportunity, that's cool, I'm going to take that, right, to move the price up and down and place and do some contract work there. Then someone might say, you know what, I'd do it for 7%. Right? So now these opportunities for manipulation start getting less and less and less, because now you have more players coming into the market and the manipulation goes down. This is, I truly fear for people who are listening to this Bitcoin ETF equals price suppression and manipulation argument, because I think what it's going to do is force people to not buy as much Bitcoin as they can, and force people to waiting for the wet dreams of these reformed, what would be gold bugs. Now they're in the Bitcoin space, without changing their mindset completely, are going on about. At the end of the day, JP Morgan everyone talks about JP Morgan got caught for manipulating the price of gold. It's fractions of a percent of the overall of the overall market cap of gold. In addition to that, you know what they got caught for? No one reads the cases. No one reads it. You know what they got caught for? They got caught for what's known as spoofing. Spoofing works like this. Let's say the price of gold is $2,000 and I want to buy it at $1,500. I'm going to go and place a ton of orders at $1,700, $1,600, $1,500, etc., etc. And then you go and place sell orders, right? And then just before, as the price starts moving down, say your sell order is here and the price starts moving down, right? It's moving, momentum's kicking in, retail's kicking in. Oh my God, retail starts selling, you cancel your sell order. That's spoofing the market. That's it. That's all JP Morgan got. When I say that's all, it's worth, millions of dollars, but that's what they got caught for, right? They're not out there like in cigar-filled rooms like doom and gloom boomers, make you think, trying to think, okay, how do we get together and manipulate the price of Bitcoin? How about this? How about you? Real manipulation would be like this. They get in that room, right? And then they're like, okay, what we're going to do is your exchange is going to go down tomorrow, and then my exchange is going to prevent people from selling their Bitcoin, and then his exchange is going to call in their leverage longs, and etc., etc. Like, that's manipulation. The need to try and cause fear in the market like this is going to cause harm. And I don't want there to be anyone standing around going, oh my God, I didn't buy Bitcoin because someone on Twitter, or YouTube or wherever said that there's going to be price manipulation. You'd have to violate every securities law in the USA. You'd have to violate every commodities trading law. You'd need, if it was on a nation state level, you would need full government, alignment on both sides of the aisle. This is not going to happen. There are market forces and rules and regulations set up to prevent this exact thing, and it does not happen. People use manipulation as a way to make you believe that they're not wrong. Gold people do this all day, every day. The price is being manipulated. Oh yeah, prove it to me. I can't find any proof of it, but the price has to be being manipulated. And then it starts feeding into your confirmation bias. Like, I got into gold and the price didn't go up. And I'm pretty smart. I think of myself as smart. So therefore, it must be being manipulated, right? And that's just not the case. Will there be some bad actors in the game? Of course. There will be. But the whole point, just how long this ETF process has been in the US, the whole point of it is to remove the bad players out of the market so that the market can operate efficiently for the people that want to play good in the market. That's why the SEC is there. That's literally the purpose of the SEC. So when they say naked short selling, all this other stuff, that happens in the futures market. And as more capital comes into the spot Bitcoin ETF, what happens is more Bitcoin is taken off the market and put into the spot Bitcoin ETF custody, and it's gone. It's gone, right? So, you know, there's a lot of this BS out here. But the main point that I want you to realize is, as this ETF gets approved, which obviously, you know, we had the SEC fail to miss the deadline, but as this happens, there is going to be a demand shock like we've never ever seen before coming into the market. There is going to be, as the ex-managing director of BlackRock said, $150 to $200 billion of new buying coming into Bitcoin just because of the ETF. Not to do with anything else. Not to do with any personal custody purchasing. Not to do with not to do with anything else. So that is a opportunity like you have never seen before, and I don't want you to get trapped here thinking, oh my God, ETF equals manipulation because, you know, Twitter said so. You know, Twitter and YouTube said so. These talking heads said so. No, it doesn't work like that. Ask anyone who actually has experience in financial markets, and they'll tell you an ETF's job is to make the market more efficient to prevent the manipulation. Bitcoin's the least manipulatable asset on earth. Why? Because if I actually have custody of it, I actually have custody of it. Any other asset, I don't know, we'll just say any other asset. It's not like stocks, right? You get with stocks, if I buy stocks, I don't have custody of the stock. It's not, it just looks like it's in my broker account. It's not actually in my custody. I actually have custody of Bitcoin, right? And with an ETF, the way the laws work, and now unless we're saying US capital markets laws are completely irrelevant, which I don't really get, because which other market is better? The US has the single best capital markets laws in the world. The US is still the #1 country for economic mobility in the world. You can end up right now from Ukraine or Gaza, get to the US and become the richest person in the world. That's the only country on earth that can happen in. Can't happen in my country, because at some point you reach an aristocratic ceiling. In the US, there is no such thing, because the capital markets and the laws around the capital markets are set up the way that they are set up. So, my point here is, I don't want anyone to get distracted by this message of manipulation coming, oh my God, manipulation coming. The ETF being approved signals less manipulation in the market. Yes, will there be people and bad actors caught in manipulating the Bitcoin price by $50 million? Sure, there will be. But that's when the market cap will be $10 trillion. Yeah, there'll be people that manipulate the Bitcoin price and get caught for spoofing or this, that, and the other, but it's not important. It's not important at all. The ETF is the single most bullish moment for Bitcoin since Bitcoin itself. It's like the amount of doom and gloom boomerang going on is unbelievable. Some people are going to hate what I'm going to say because I'm talking pro the financial system here, right? I understand that. But this is how the world really works. I understand that it's better for people to take self-custody. I get it. It just ain't going to happen because most people do not self-custody their assets. They never have, even when they can. So, either you get with the program or you hate me. That's fine. It's absolutely fine. All I'm telling you is we're about to get a bunch of people who can finally click sell on their Tesla position and click buy on Bitcoin, and now they have exposure to Bitcoin and their family is safe. That's what I care about. I don't care, like, I really don't care about custody. Let me rephrase myself. I care about custody. I don't care about the first thing to teach being self-custody. I want you to get into Bitcoin, understand what Bitcoin is, then you can worry about self-custody. So if the gateway drug for you is the ETF, make it the ETF. But I want people having exposure to Bitcoin, because if you don't have exposure to Bitcoin, you're never going to get the opportunity to express your opinion in the world the way that you can if you have wealth. That's why I talk about the $1,000 net worthers and the $10 a month DCA gang. At the end of the day, you've got to have wealth in order to have an opinion. That's just the world we live in. I'm sorry, hippies, the happy hippies that get together for festivals and hug each other and high five and buy each other's pieces of shitty art and whatever. That's cool. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about people that actually want to make a difference in the world for themselves, for their family, for their children, and for their grandchildren. For those people, you need to get exposure to Bitcoin. And now the fact that the SEC is backed off from holding back this ETF, you don't want to listen to this kind of bullshit because you're going to miss an opportunity that you've never, ever going to get back. And despite any of this doom and gloom boomerang from anyone on Twitter, YouTube, or anywhere else, there are still only 3 rules to Bitcoin. Step number 1, you buy Bitcoin. Step number 2, shut the fuck up. And step number 3, you get fabulously wealthy.